The insane world of obese Disney adults. Oh my god. This gotta be good by Sydney Watson channel. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's watch it.
Trying to ride Dragon Racers Rally at Universal's Epic Universe, but you weren't sure if you'd fit.
I feel like I asked this question in most videos, but what am I watching
Holy
here?
shit. What are we watching here? And welcome
Hi,
back
my
to
name
hell.
is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Cook Unity. So I have been on the internet
Oh, I don't
for
remember
a
this
very,
one.
very, very long time. And the longer that I'm here, the more that I see things that both alarm and confuse me. And the subject of today's video is no exception. I've had my head
Yeah,
in a lot of
that is
obesity-based
not
topics
Sydney.
over the last little while, just because like when you find one story, it leads you down the rabbit hole. So I don't know, expect some more obesity on this channel in the coming weeks. Not from me though. I go to the gym where I sit in the corner and then cry about my 5-kilo weights. Now recently I learned that there is a group of women called the plus-sized park hoppers. Some of you may or may not have heard about them already because they've been around for a little while. This is a group of 5 women from Massachusetts here in the US who range in clothing sizes from 2XL to 5XL. Their words, guys, not
Jesus
Hey
Christ.
everyone, we're plus-size park hoppers, and we range in sizes from 2X to 5X. Make sure you like this video and follow us for more plus-size Disney tips and tricks.
These ladies go to Disney theme parks
Plus size Disney tricks and tips. Plus size Disney tricks and tips. I will not comment over it. I think my silence speaks for itself.
every other month to report on what is and isn't accessible to them. Yes, you heard that correctly. Every other month. Yeah, I am not kidding. The whole thing here is going to theme parks and resorts and then reporting back about not being able to fit into chairs. When I tell you I am tired.
I already knew that this would be about it. And so there is no tricks and tips. They just go there, don't fit in the equipment and the, and most of the places there. And then they file a complaint or just start to, fall on the ground, nagging and debating themselves, screaming until someone do something for them. I don't know what else would you guys expect out of this group. It's not because they're fat. It's because they are fat activists.
These women tell you if you can fit onto specific rides, like if you can get the little bar thing to sit across your belly. Okay.
These seats are molded with a divider that goes between your legs. The safety mechanism is an over-the-shoulder chest restraint that does need to get to a certain position to lock. Ashley wears a size 5X and unfortunately was not able to get the green light for this ride.
Which types of obesity scooters to use and if you can get them.
Disney World vacations can require a lot of walking, which can be painful and might put a damper on your vacation. For longer trips, one of us always rents a scooter and she prefers to rent through Gold Mobility.
Which is the best anti-chafing leg rub to use? I just learned this is a thing.
So we really like this Dr. Frederick's Better Body Balm. You just rub it on your thighs and it helps stop the friction.
I've never had this problem, thankfully, but it's good to know the brand to use in case I ever do. Thank you. They reference where you can park your car if you want to avoid walking. They explain what this red rash on your leg might be and say that it's from exercise, but in reality, it's
that
called
looks terrible.
vasculitis and
The face that she did there, like, it doesn't explain how terrible that looks. Like, that is something serious. That right there, it's not something for you to make a joke out of it. There is something that is serious going there. Like, go, like, something really serious happening with her legs. I mean, her healthy.
and it would probably
It's
go away
not
if you
good.
lost some weight and
Oh
much,
my
much more.
God,
So
oh my
obviously,
God.
if you have been around this channel for any length of time, you will know that I am not a fan of how people have gotten fatter and fatter as the years have gone on.
Don't
and
tell
with
me.
this issue specifically, with these people specifically, I don't want to make fun of them just because they're fat people on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. I'm not making fun of them being fat. I'm making, like, I'm not even making fun about they being, like, fat activists. The thing is that, the most like I'd say that I probably would make fun is they were starts like to incorporate like a fat carrying neck and complaining that the equipments are not for her size and something like that. But this probably is the far I would go on that. That's being obese have like be like that. It's a healthy problem, really. People should not be making, and this is the thing. People should not make that look like pretty, like awesome to be. You really somehow you really need to get rid of all of that fat, or you're gonna die. Look at at those legs. Down, you just saw that. That's really terrible. How I would make fun of that? No way I would make fun of that. They have to treat that somehow. They need to lose weight, not make that pretty, or make that as an example to the others. Actually, it's kind of sad to look at them trying to fit in the equipments and not fitting at all, and having problems to use the equipments there on Disney. That is sad. That is sad. It's not something to make fun of, you know? I mean, I will only... Now, if they start to do what I said before, nag and complain about it, I'll make fun of them, of course, because I have to laugh as well.
At doing their thing and having fun. But I do want to talk about them because, like, for one, Disney adults are just incredibly bizarre to me, all on their own. Going to Disney this regularly and making your entire personality a company that has been historically enjoyed by children.
It's not about being fat. It's about like making being that fat looks like it's normal and okay, and it's not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You have to lose weight, or you're gonna die. It's simple like that. You're gonna die. Do you wanna die? Of course not. So lose some weight. That's it.
Is something.
Oh, Mizuki, you say as if it was something easier, or if they never ever tried before. I know it's not easy. That's why it's a healthy problem, Because of that, some of them even have problem with their glands, like hypothyroidism. I don't know if in English is that name, but yeah, like their metabolism works so slow that they just accumulate fat. Even though they have like a healthy alimentation, it's very hard to them to lose weight. This actually exists, That's why it's a sickness. It's not only like a sickness like that on an alteration of their metabolism, but also a mental sickness, because it's a lot of it. They just not just get fat from one day to another with like 200 kilos. That doesn't happen like that. It happens like a total change on their mentality. Like there is a total transformation together with their bodies mentally as well. This is a total sickness. This is really terrible. It's not just their organs that. The limbs and etc. that get problems. It's like everything, their minds and everything. It's so terrible. It's one of the most terrible things that can happen to a person. That's why I don't think they should. Oh, but because they are fat, they cannot live a normal life. It's not about that. Of course, you should be treated as an equal to everyone. This is not about this. We are talking about risks to your health, to your life, about you not being capable of doing simple stuff every day. As well, like, oh my god. Dan, I bet you can even have sex with that weight. I don't know, but probably.
Something I don't quite understand. I'm prepared to admit that I am a Disney tourist. I like to watch the cartoons sometimes and watch them to comment on this channel about how bad the remakes are. But going to Disneyland or Disney World 1,000 times a year, Really? I don't know, man. That just feels like a really expensive way of saying I'm not in a relationship. But secondarily, and honestly probably more importantly, I'm troubled by the continued effort to normalize being this huge in life and giving people tips and tricks to exist like this. Not to mention essentially demanding Disney make efforts to
By the way, am I crazy for not finding Disney interesting to go to? Like, seriously. If I had like to, I don't know how much expensive it is to go there. From here, I know it's very expensive for me to travel from my culture to US to go to see Disney. It's probably very, very, very damn expensive. But if you could say like, oh, you gotta have this money and choose elsewhere to go, I would choose to do anything else with the money in a good place as well, but not Disney, you know. Like, I just don't find it worth of my money. It's a me problem, okay? It's very personal here. I'm not attacking Disney, like Disney World in this way. Even though for the reasons we all know, I have many reasons to dislike Disney nowadays. But it's not about that. I personally don't like this attraction. I'm very weird. I would take this L, okay? I am very weird. I think you guys already discovered that, but I never said I wasn't. Like, from day one on this channel, I said a few times that I'm far from being a normal person. In my neighbor, for example, I'm way, way, way more different. So yeah, that's come with it, I guess.
Accommodate your obesity, going to a place
And I
where you
don't wanna
know
say
you
that
can't
it's
fit
better or
onto
worse.
any
I'm
of the
just
rides or
different.
very few of the rides, and it's actually probably unsafe if you do so, while also eating insane amounts of food and insanely overpriced food, and somehow trying to act like all of this is normal. It really, really isn't. In case that wasn't obvious. Editor Sydney from the future here, because I forgot to say this when I was recording, but it probably seems like a random ironic coincidence that Cook Unity is the sponsor for this video, but I actually did it deliberately, because as long as we're talking about not so great choices, I want to tell you about an actual good one. Look, I'm gonna level with you all. Your girl has tried basically every meal service under the sun because I'm not that great at cooking. So while I respect cooking, sometimes you just don't have the time, sometimes you don't have the energy, and sometimes you just want something healthy that's easy. So when Cook Unity reached out, I was like, okay, show me what you got. Immediately, I was really impressed with their delivery, which probably seems really little, but to me makes a big difference because I have had food like this delivered that has arrived in boxes that have been destroyed and leaking. The food is no good, but in this case, they use sustainable bags, which are so cute, and the food actually arrived cold and completely intact, and it's not just a once-off because I've had multiple deliveries now. Cook Unity's meals are put together by actual chefs, so what's cool is that the instructions are based on what's fast, so if you're on the go, or what the chef themselves recommends. So far, my favorite meals have been made by Chef David Adan, like this little shrimp pasta dish and these little fish tacos. He also made a Mediterranean salad that I really enjoyed. The difference here is that other companies give you frozen soggy mush, it's gross, but these meals taste great, they have great texture, and they're actually real food. And I like that there are hundreds of dishes to choose from, so you can opt for different dietary preferences or pick from all these different flavor profiles.
I bet Japanese would
so
love
if you
that.
too want chef-made meals delivered straight to your door, then click the link in the description or go to cookunity.com/Sydney50
That might
for
be expensive
50%
as
off
hell.
your first order. That's right, Cook Unity is offering you guys 50% off your first order when you use code Sydney50 at cookunity.com/Sydney50. Now, right out of the gate, these fat Disney park enjoyers get two kinds of responses predominantly. People like me, and probably actually a lot of you who are alarmed and appalled that we have even gotten to this place in
Oh
society.
my god.
These are the people who are extremely critical of these women and the content that they are making. And I think we vary quite a lot. You know, you have the people who are very mean-spirited in their feedback and criticism, and then you have other people who I think are really funny. I saw that a bodybuilder and former Disney Disney employee called Marie Lopez, who also happens to be married to the host of the podcast Revenge of the Sis. She made some funny videos about
Revenge
this
of the
that
what?
I
Of
thought
the
you guys would like to
sis?
see.
Have you been dying to ride Expedition Everest at Disney World's Animal Kingdom, but you weren't sure if you'd fit? All of us sizes 2X through 5X are able to ride this ride. Those of us who wear sizes 2X through 4X find this ride to be very comfortable. We hope that these tips help and that you don't get snatched by the Disco Yeti. For entrees, Deanna, Katie, and I all got the filet mignon. Deanna got hers with a side of green beans. As you might know, she is on a quest to find the best green beans, but she said that these were just okay. I got mine with béarnaise sauce and a loaded baked potato. I really enjoyed the steak and the béarnaise sauce was so good.
Marie got a salad.
It's good. For dessert, Katie got the creme brulee, which
Oh
was
my
gluten-free.
The juxtaposition is, it's something. Anyway, and probably pretty obviously, the other camp here are the yes queen types that love to say that this kind of thing is so great because of how inclusive it is.
Can I just say something about the plus size park hoppers really quickly? How evil do you have to actually be to see one of their videos and comment something just heinous? Just something so mean and nasty. Like, these girls, not only are they loving life, sharing their joy and happiness, but they're also helping like a major population of people who might find it very embarrassing or humiliating to want to be able to go on a ride and then the seat not be inclusive to their size.
And these women get so much hate on their videos that's completely undeserved. And some of it is just flat out cruel. You know, I see a lot of comments kind of bullying them for their weight. And the comment that I see all the time is along the lines of like, if you can't fit on a ride, that should be a wake-up call. And that's just wrong to say for a lot of reasons.
I think
No, I agree with that one. If you don't fit there, it should be a wake-up call for you to lose weight. And it's not about weight. It's about you not dying. And you can really enjoy the place that you are going to because you will not be able to use the park at its fullest if you don't fit the equipment. Damn. And when I say that, I'm also talking about actually having fun, like actually having that much weight actually prohibits you of having fun. Of course, it doesn't prohibit you totally, but limits you a lot. So, do you really want that? Huh? Do you really want that? Oh my god, it's so... Nah, I don't even know what to say. These people keep like demonizing everything that makes them reflect a little that maybe that choices of life are not correctly at all, you know? Like, but okay, it's their life if they, I could just say that, like, okay, it's their life if they wanna die like this, it's on them. But no, like, I'm actually saying this because I do care, you know, because I do think that they should lose some weight so they can live more, so they can have more fun, so they can not be limited on a park, you know? And observe here that I'm not making jokes or anything like that about them because I know that's a real problem. It's complicated. And they will like, they will say everything. Like if they saw my video, people like them saw my video. You know what type of people I'm talking about, the leftish, okay? It's always the same group. They will see my video and say that I'm hating on them. Because that's how they are. They are so ridiculous like that. Tired of this. I don't need to be explaining myself. If you're in this situation, of course, like I would say like, okay, it's good. Actually, the part that maybe people that are in the same situation like them, watching the video that then going to Disney, not caring about that and actually trying to have... I understand that there is an importance on this as well, you know? Of course it is. Like, maybe people might be like, not feel comfortable to go out, even to go out because the reaction of the others, how others will, you know, make fun of them and all, and that's real. And in that sense, they are helping them. But at the same time, of course, they need help in this respect, but at the same time, you cannot like feel comfortable and feel, oh, so that's okay for me to be like that. No, it's okay for you to be like that while you are like that, but you also, at the same time, you have to be working on yourself to not be like that for long. That's the problem. You have to link one thing to another. You have to be comfortable to be yourself, who you are, in your weight right now. But at the same time, it cannot end there. This have to be a part of a process. You have also to work on yourself so you lose that weight, so you will live more and will have more fun, Oh my God, why I need to explain very simple stuff? It's like saying the grass is green. Sometimes I feel tired of saying the same stuff over and over again. Like, it's like I'm saying some, like, secret of the universe that no one thought about before, It's crazy.
I think I got more angry watching the Yes Queen videos that were enabling and justifying all of this than the actual plus-size park hoppers themselves. So I'm not sure what that says, but it says something. If you go on Reddit or other
What a
forums,
huge
you will see
cup,
people
Sydney.
complaining that they are overweight and are anxious
wanna
about
one.
going to Disney. So there are a lot of people who like and appreciate what the plus-sized park hoppers are trying to do. They are making theme parks feel more accessible and less anxiety-inducing, I guess, for obese people. And
Yeah,
on
that's
this
a good
front,
side
I
of
can actually
it.
understand
But
this
that's why I
argument,
say.
because being fat
Yeah.
isn't fun, and it sure as hell isn't fun when you are acutely aware of the fact that the world is not designed for people of your size. Like when you are a prisoner in your own skin. But let's remember, human beings can absolutely get this big, but we are absolutely not supposed to be. And I think these women and other fat amusement park content people are 100% proof of that. Personally, I hate all of this because I do view it as an attempt to normalize obesity rather than instructing people and helping people to
And that's the problem. It's that what I'm trying to talk about. I'm sorry, it's because I can be very confusing at time and very limited by my vocabulary, and stuff like that. I also, sometimes when I get nervous, a lot of words just go blank out of my mind, like, yeah, but she said she explained that very easily, perfect, like just now, like, it's like they are trying to normalize obesity and not actually about making them comfortable. I'm not saying that it's their only objective, but it feels that it's the most strong thing in what they are doing, actually. It's like it's the most important thing, which means the activism, and this is the problem. This is always the problem. But I mean, yeah, at the same time, I still think that has some value in what they are doing. It has. But it cannot end there. It cannot.
Navigate weight loss and making better choices. Let me show you what I mean. These women have made a bunch of videos explaining how to get your hands on these mobility scooters, due to the fact that when you're fat, walking around is really hard.
Company we trust when it comes to
Oh, it's a good example. When they should be actually walking so they lose some weight and calories. Even though it can be very troublesome, like they said, like, because, fat ties and, the food as well. And I understand that, but it's actually a good reason for you to move. So you see the attractions and at the same time you lose some calories,
our theme park scooter rental, and that's Gold Mobility. Walking 5 to 10 miles a day can be overwhelming, especially if you're in a larger body or have limited mobility. If you're afraid this will put a damper on your long-awaited vacation, there is absolutely no shame in renting an ECV.
But, and I think it goes without saying, these devices were not designed for fat people. Mobility scooters are for people who are actually disabled, or the elderly, or pregnant women? I don't know, I've never thought about this. Do you guys need mobility scooters?
I think it should. I mean, I'm not saying that they should be comfortable in always using these mobility scooters, but I think obesity is a health problem, like worrying enough for them to be included in this. I have to agree with the activism here. Okay, they should be included on these scooters because it's a health problem, and I saw they were supposed to help these people out as well, you know. So, but I don't know if they. I bet I saw already many times before in other videos talking about similar stuff. I think it wasn't here in my channel, but I saw somewhere. These people, like fat, very fat people, even more fat than they actually are there in this video. I saw really, really more fat people than these are. Using these scooters to move around. So I think they can use that perfectly.
I have to imagine the babies are heavy. I don't know. These things are not designed for people who have been overeating their entire lives and want an excuse not to walk. In several of their videos about these scooters, they even double up as an ad. Imagine being sponsored by a mobility scooter company because you're too fat to walk long distances. You guys know I am genuinely fine with people on social media making a buck. I am fine with them working with advertisers and sponsors and all sorts of stuff. I get that bag. I'm fine with that. But, you know, on like a serious note, I think that a gym membership is infinitely cheaper than a mobility scooter. And this goes for other things that they report on too, like food. Are you surprised? Probably not. Of course, these women have tons of videos stacking their plates with meals from Disney buffets or other Disney restaurants or just...
I'm sorry, most of the foods that she actually showing doesn't look delicious. Looks kind of nasty. I mean, it's my personal opinion here, okay? Don't take that serious. It's just my opinion.
A video stacking their plates with meals from...
This one, it doesn't seem delicious at all. It seems pretty much weird. It's my opinion, okay? I just don't find this. I mean, I wouldn't even try to test this. I don't know why. It just feels nasty. I don't know.
Disney buffets or other Disney restaurants or just snacks that they got on the go. I mean, being serious for a minute, between the cost of the mobility scooter and all the food, I feel like being really overweight is quite an expensive exercise. I'm genuinely not trying to be mean. I'm just saying. This is another place where I think it would be worth noting for their viewers how many calories they're consuming or how many calories this kind of food has, that eating like this is okay sometimes, you know, when you're on a holiday or, you know, doing something a little bit naughty, but it's not an all the time thing. But rather than acknowledging that and, you know, referencing that maybe there are better food options, they just eat and eat and eat and eat. And it sort of feels reminiscent of this horrible...
Well, I'm not the one that can talk about this because I eat very little. I don't eat much. Just because, I don't know. I just feel very full very easily. And yeah, that's it. And I don't know. I don't get fat. So I don't feel like it can talk much about this because I think I actually have to make exams to know that because I'm not sure. But I think I have the contrary of people, what I said before, that problem with that gland. I think mine is too much accelerated metabolism. Maybe I need to treat that because it's a problem as well. And I have most of the symptoms of that, so maybe I really do have a problem with it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's something that I would check out in future. Yeah.
Overconsumption culture that we have cultivated as a result, particularly here in the United States, of huge portion sizes, but also turning eating itself into some sort of like online spectacle, so to speak. And
so what I mean is that I'm not able to eat much at once, like in one time, but I eat multiple times in a day, like 6, maybe 7. But I eat very small portions, like everything makes me feel very full. Like, I don't know. For me, this is normal, okay? Because I was always like that. But when I see other people eating near me, even people that are not fat as well, they eat like at least double or triple as me. And I mean, so I wonder if there is something wrong with me, but up until today, I never discovered something weird. I do exams from time to time, so, but I never actually took exams to know if I have some problem with my I think it's thyroides in English. I don't know.
And if watching this type of thing makes you uncomfortable, it should, because eating this much and being this overweight is not normal. I also think what made me extra angry about all of this was this TikTok dietitian's response to this content, where she basically downplays how terrible it is and says that Disney is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so eat what you want.
Honestly, it looks like a bunch of people enjoying themselves at Disney and trying all of the fun foods on offer. Just like every and any other Disney influencer or even just like Disney goer would be doing. When I went to Epcot for the first time, my day of eating looked identical to that. And yet no one would give a Disney isn't everyday life. In fact,
But the thing is, and I actually agree with her. The portions, when it's actually not that big. I mean, I've seen people like with normal weight eating that like easily all the time. But the thing is, they already have that weight, so they cannot be eating this quantity and this very caloric stuff like that in one day. You know, that's the difference. Like, you can be eating the same stuff as them in one day, but like in 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks later, you have a nice diet and you're fine, you know, or maybe even less than that. Or just eat normally the next upcoming days and you're fine as well. You're not gonna die because one day. But for them, they are different. Look at that situation right now. It's not the same. It's not.
in fact, for many families, it is
They
a
are at risk already.
once-in-a-lifetime trip. So what
They'll
do you eat at Disney?
just remember about them walking. Look at those legs. Oh my god, like, it's very clear that that's so fucking dangerous.
Disney isn't going to be your everyday routine.
Wow, that's so crazy, because this isn't the first time at all that they're trying this food. It's almost like they do this repeatedly, like it's their whole shtick, and they go to these places repeatedly. I don't usually like insulting people directly, but this woman's an idiot. Someone bring her to me so I can call her a slur. One of the other things I found out that I genuinely hate about this plus-size park hopping content is complaining about innocuous things that aren't accommodating or accessible to these people. Like literal chairs.
The seating here
Yeah,
consists of only
that's
tables
where
and
we
chairs
have a
without
problem.
arms. In this episode of If I Fits, I Sits, we had dinner at Toledo. This Spanish-inspired restaurant is located in the Gran Destino Tower at Disney's Coronado Springs. The seating here consists of tables with chairs without arms.
These women started an entire series on TikTok called If It Fits, I Sits, and it basically documents whether or not they can fit into chairs. This goes for transport around the parks as well, like the shuttles taking them to and from the parking lot.
The parking lot tram may not be the most exciting ride of the day, but it's definitely a useful one. Especially if you don't want to get all of your steps in before you even get to the park entrance.
What do you mean if you don't want to get steps in before you go to the park? Even testing out whether or not they fit in the ride seats themselves is a huge part of this kind of content. I found out through making this video that Disney has tester seats where people can go and sit in a fake seat to make sure that they'll fit in the real ones. And I am promising you now, these don't exist because of tall people or short people. They will be here almost exclusively, I am sure, for fat people.
Have you been dying to ride Test Track at Disney World's
my
Epcot? Because I'm not
God.
sure if you'd fit.
I know I can fit. I don't need a tester seat. So I sent one of my friends one of the videos that I was using here because I was alarmed after seeing it. And she pointed out the sign in the background of one of the shots that says, "Test this seat before riding. The seating and restraints on this attraction may prohibit some guests of certain body shapes and sizes from riding." Did I not just tell you that this exists exclusively for fat people? This is code for obese people can't fit. So no getting flung around in the air for you. Honestly, I'm glad that they have test seats because I think that it's actually a hazard for obese people to get on theme park rides, but it's genuinely sad that this even needs to be the case. In this video, this guy is trying so hard to push the little securing bar thing down. He's using his entire body. And it's actually not just these plus-size park hoppers making these seat videos. There are tons of them on social media where people complain about these not being accessible. Fam, they're not supposed to be accessible, because you're not supposed to be the size of Maine. So of course, I have two primary issues here. And the first is safety. Because if you are this fat, I think this is unsafe. If you are trying to ride rides this fat, I think that is hazardous, not only to you, but also to the people around you. A woman on TikTok even told a convoluted story that was a little confusing about how she was put into a ride and fit in there. And she sort of describes how she has a stomach fat flap, and that is what the seat bar was pushed on top of. So when the ride was actually in motion, her stomach flap flipped up over the bar so that she had this big space between her and the bar that was supposed to be holding her in place, and she felt like she was not secured and she was going to fall out of the ride and die. This is not a description that I ever thought that I'd be giving, but here we are.
Like the fat that I have is like that, the pooch where it's just kind of like an overhang, do you know what I mean? But underneath that, like I'm skinnier underneath my little pooch, right? And so keep that in mind when you're thinking about this story, okay? Because what happened is that when we get up and we're on that like the little loop, that go like it shoots you up really fast, and then you sit up here up on this loop right here, and then you go down. When we started to go down, I was not tight enough. Okay, that fat that she pushed down on there, my fupa, right? It came loose because I literally sat up in the seat, like my butt was up in the air. That fat went over that bar. So now at this point, there is like a gap from like this much gap from me and the device that's supposed to be holding me in.
And second, and I really mean it when I say that I'm not trying to be mean here, but if you are going to take the time to go to a theme park, especially if, you know, you're flying in or you're driving in or whatever, you're going to go to the theme park, you're going to spend tons of money at that theme park, you're going to do a bunch of walking, you're going to go on the rides, you're going to make memories with your family. Why would you do all of that without putting in the effort to lose a bit of weight so that you can enjoy it better? Why the hell are you expecting the theme park to accommodate you rather than you bettering yourself so that you can have a better time? It genuinely makes me so angry because it screams entitlement, and I'm so sick of entitled people. I can't even imagine spending the time and money to go to a theme park knowing full well the entire time that it's going to be a struggle, and then proudly getting on the internet and informing other people of this struggle like it's somehow everyone else's fault. Interestingly, I also found another account of one of these
And this is where we have problems. What I said, it's when starting the nagging and the complaining and the screaming and the debating themselves on the ground until they get what they want. This is where we have most of the problems here. When they demand the change of the entire place to their own needs, when they are clearly the exception, they are neither the exception. They are the exception of the exception of the exception of the exception of the exception. Like, do you have an idea how much money the park would lost to accommodate, to have equipment to accommodate just fat people, like obese people? Like really, like probably, I don't know the data, but probably it's not worth for them, because if it was, probably all the theme parks would have equipment, especially for obese people. That's it. That's how it is.
Amusement park fat people, and with relation to not fitting in seats, someone asked him why this isn't a wake-up call. He replied that each time he fails to fit, he promises himself that he'll lose weight, but the quote-unquote motivation never outlasts his hunger. I hate it here. Which honestly makes me just want to throw hands, because dude, what do you mean? I think the bottom line here is that there is a huge, pun not intended, but welcomed, accountability issue with topics like this, because again, people would rather find tips and tricks to exist in this state of obesity rather than actually making time, effort, and putting energy into losing weight. Also, as a total aside, I can't even imagine getting a job at Disney and expecting that you're going to be dealing with all these cute little kids and then seeing this parade of obese Disney adults and just being like, ugh. To be clear, if you are overweight and you are trying to lose weight, I think you're pretty cool, because that's not easy. Not in a day and age where food is poison and we're sedentary and people act like going to the gym and eating healthy is some sort of wild achievement.
And it's like I said before, in countries like mine, for example, this is especially harder because eating healthy food here is so much expensive. You guys have no idea. So it's very cheap to just eat junk food and get obese here because that's what people can afford for. But if you guys are out there, you guys probably have more chances of like losing weight. I'm sorry. So that's more of the reason for you guys go if you guys are in that situation, or even if you are just a little bit overweight, like start working on themselves now, you know, because it's better now than later. Like when you acquire a lot of healthy problems. I mean, when we get old, like everything becomes worse, like, right? And so it's better for you to take care of your healthy so you don't have to spend tons of money paying like doctors and stuff like that later. I mean, even we know like the life it's not easy. Life can be very, very unfair and weird many times. So even you taking care of yourself, you still might face some problems with that. But fact is that you're increasing that chances if you do not take care of yourself. Like, and the main thing would be drink a lot of water, sleep well, don't lose your sleeps, your nights of sleep, you know, for anything. Like, yeah, try to be as healthy as you can be. Just you don't need to do all at once, but try to change little by little, bit by bit, you know, every day. And yeah. And in 10 years, when you look back, you're gonna see how far you went. That's it. It's about it.
So if that is you, more power to you, and I think that is really cool. But as far as these fat amusement park people go, before the woke times crashed into us and consumed us all, people seemed to understand that not everything was made or meant for them. But somewhere along this weird and awful path of fat acceptance and body positivity, we seem to have lost that ancient wisdom. For a lot of fat activists and their allies, there's this idea here that this is all about equality, that fat people, obese people, should be able to enjoy the same things as skinny people, including theme park rides. Personally, I'm not super sure what's enjoyable about having metal bars cutting into your fat rolls while you're thrown about on a ride, but you do you. I'm not sure what's enjoyable about getting vasculitis, because walking around a theme park for a few hours is akin to running a mini marathon for some people. Life is definitely not more or equally enjoyable when you are morbidly obese. It is painful, it is expensive, and yes, you are going to be excluded from doing some things that skinny people can do. And that's not the fault of anybody
for the reasons I
else.
mentioned
No one's
before.
oppressing you. Society is not built to oppress you. It's because these people have built prisons out of their own skin. Not the skin, sorry, out of their own fat. Tired me is just envisioning an actual prison, like, built.
And the main thing, I guess, is that no matter how much you try to you know, to don't feel responsible for it, it's your responsibility to take care of your body. For more harder than it can be, we know that's not easy. I mean, I never was fat in my life, but even not being, I can tell by the others trying to lose weight and all, you know, like, it's very hard. For people that are just some kilos above their ideal weight. Imagine being on their weight. But at the same time, there is something that is in your favor, mostly in the beginning. Like, your body, your own body will work for you, for make you lose weight more faster. Like, I think the first months of you guys losing weight at that weight would be the most difficult because it's an adapting phase, but will be the phase when you guys when feel the most difference at all. Because your own body, your own weight makes you lose weight more faster. Because any effort that you put in, it's multiplied by the weight that it's in your body, so you lose a lot of weight. I watched a lot of Doctor Now. I don't know the name in English of that program, but here it's called Doctor Now. So I see a lot of very fat people losing weight. It's the doctor that it's on Texas, and people move that to the treatments. Yeah, this is aired on TV here.
Out of fat. That's horrifying. Ugh. Ultimately, as much as people like this seem to want the world to accommodate them, I think it's pretty clear that they fundamentally lack the desire and motivation to do the things that will better themselves so that they can actually exist in the world normally. In the end, it genuinely upsets me that there is this cohort of people who have deliberately and intentionally handicapped themselves while acting like they are on the same level of equivalence to people who have actual disabilities through no fault of their own, who ask for very little. And while I definitely believe that these people are adults and are free to exist however they so choose, I am incredibly upset by this ongoing attempt to normalize obesity to the wider population. I am sorry that theme parks don't feel like they are accommodating your obesity, but honestly, they probably shouldn't be. Now, on that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Cook Unity using the link in the description. I am a big fan of the meals that they sent me. I do think that this is one of the better, maybe even the best meal service that I have personally tried. So if this is something that would work for you, absolutely check them out. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you think that this plus size park hopping thing is working to normalize obesity further? Do you think that it's really not that big of a deal and it's just a thing that these girls are doing that they enjoy and they're actually making content that might help other people who are not fat? Although I do agree with that one too. I do think some of this probably helps non-fat people. Do you think that this is a good thing? Do you think that it's a bad thing? Do you think that it's fair that people pick on them all the time? Do you think that they're open?
How can one think that is a good thing? Like, there is no way. If you guys on the comments says that it's a good thing, I will fucking block you. Okay, I don't care.
Opening themselves up for this sort of criticism. Do you think that everybody should just leave them alone and let them enjoy themselves? What do you
Yes,
think
you
of
can call me
theme
Dictator
parks
Azuki
making all
now.
of these concessions for fat people? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Should we be trying to push fat people out of these environments and try to kind of unfairly encourage them to lose weight like this? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you are not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well as leaving this video a like and a comment because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Of course, my little chickadee noodles, I hope you stay safe and well and make good choices in the interim, and I will see your wonderful little prickly pear faces in the next video.
Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, that support my work here on YouTube, and especially my 3-tail Fox tier members, Heath Rowell, Wallen Wolf, Fenny Sylvy, and Zalost, for the incredible support to my work. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to all of you who supported me through Ko-Fi or Tron. Thank you very, very much. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. I wonder how she reads the majority of them when she has like this quantity of views on her video, but yeah, I mean, I'm barely being able to. I mean, I read most of them. I would say that I read like 80% of them, but I'm not able to answer everyone. Yeah, but if it's that difficult for me already, I wonder how she does that. But yeah, thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check links below, Patreon, Discord, go find Throne. Consider support me there so I can get the fuck out of this terrible country as fast as possible. And I will see you all guys in the next one. Almost 1 hour video again. Bye, have a good weekend.